going on, everyone? Um, Today I wanted to discuss something that a lot of people deal with in life. Pretty much what I wanted to talk about was just like the workforce. How a lot of us are making a living is really impacting our well-being. Maybe we don't feel fulfilled in our lives. We feel like, what we're doing is, honestly, some of the work that we do is mindless work, and a lot of us are a lot more intelligent, or we're capable of a lot more than what we're doing at work. But we don't have the option to go do something else because we need to make a living. So, this is something that I find myself trapped in. Is like what I'm doing is not challenging, and I don't see it as really meaningful. I see myself as like this like really small piece of the puzzle, and it's not very satisfying. As a human being, it's like this is almost something that like somebody that doesn't have a college degree could definitely do. A lot of these jobs that require college degrees, it's like anybody can do these jobs. It's not like you have to have some sort of special skill. It's just that you have to learn how to do it. And then once you learn how to do it, it's almost like the degree that I got is not. It wasn't even meaningful toward the job. It's just a requirement to get the job. So it's like it's kind of ridiculous if you think about it. But I guess I kind of wanted to just talk about like life fulfillment. Like I made a previous video, and I think it hits a lot of points on what I want to do with my life. I'm trying to get to a place where I don't have to work in these offices, because these jobs are not fulfilling. These are not fulfilling jobs. No matter how much money you're making, it doesn't matter. Like what you're doing is what really matters. That's really what I've learned about jobs, and I didn't really know that until I did it. But yeah, like what you're doing is what matters. Even if you're making six figures, if you're not doing something that's fulfilling you, you're not going to be happy, and that's really the truth. And it's not like I'm unhappy. It's just that I'm not satisfied. I have some weekends where like I get to go do things that I enjoy doing, and like I'm relatively happy, but I'm not fulfilled in with what I do for work. And I think that's a problem because that's a large part of our lives. So maybe not like I have a good life. I'm not saying I don't, but um, it's just really this part of like my life that I'm not satisfied with, and it's my work. It's like what I'm doing for a living is just that. It's just I'm doing it for a living, you know, and it's just not enough for me. And I feel like a yearning, like desire to go do something bigger, not bigger, but do something more fulfilling and more meaningful, because it's not enough to get me up in the morning. I find myself coming in late because I was like, this shit is stupid. Like, I come here and I sit down for 8 hours a day and look at a screen and take care of these small little tasks day in and day out, and it's just kind of stupid. It's kind of a dumb way to spend the majority of your time, whether you get paid or not. And it's kind of crazy because they pay us to do this stuff, but it's like, I feel like this is not just my job. There's tons of jobs like this out into the world because I've been a part of it. Breaking down, I've worked at two different places, and a lot of what I'm doing is very similar. We're working in the same software, we're doing similar tasks, but these are not fulfilling tasks. This is not fulfilling work for humans. And this is really the problem with most of these jobs. Some of the jobs are fulfilling, right? I'm sure you could find something that's more fulfilling than what I'm doing, but I hope I'm speaking for the majority of Americans when I say like this is not going to fulfill our lives. This is not going to be enough to make us happy, and for a lot of us, this isn't really going to be a lifestyle that we want to live. But yet we don't have a choice, right? Some of us don't really have a choice, and that kind of sucks. It does. It kind of sucks to not have that option to have to live, to do something that you love to do and make a living off of it, right? So it just sucks that we don't have that option. What can we do I'm just kind of trying to start the discussion, but what can we do to change it? So we don't have to, because this is living a life that is not. And again, I have a good life, right? Outside of work, I have a really good life. Um, I mean, last weekend I didn't, right? Because where I work is not somewhere that I want to live. But the job brought me here, and I just drive back to where I want to be most of the time. I just didn't last weekend, but yeah, like if you live somewhere you want to live, and you have free time off work, your life's probably pretty good, right? If you're doing the things that you want to do outside of work, your life's probably pretty good. But what happens is these jobs are not fulfilling, and it just kind of what I've learned about it is it spirals you down into a certain lifestyle that like it forces you into this like lifestyle that a lot of people are forced to live. It forces you into a lifestyle that you might not find appealing or that you want to be a part of. And I think for a lot of people, that's where the problem lies. Is like maybe somebody, so many, and this sucks because like we all have our own thing that we want to do with our lives. Yet we have to make a living. Like we have to, and when I say make a living, we have to make money to pay for our rent, to pay for our food. We have to make money. That's the bottom line. And it's like, if you really love doing something, and if you could spend your whole life doing that, you could do it, but you wouldn't make any money. So how would you survive? And then you get back into this thing where it's like, well, I'd have to do something that makes money. So this is where I personally lie, but this is where a lot of people lie. They lie somewhere in this thing where it's like they really enjoy something that would not be able to make them money. But if they could do that for the rest of their lives, they'd be really happy. So this is the problem: is that we have to make money. So we have to spend the majority of our time doing what it is that makes us money, and what makes us money is not what we enjoy doing. So it's like this weird thing that really I think needs to be fixed. I don't know how to do it. I don't know how to fix this. This is a really big problem, though, I think, in our society. Like, I think it's the reason we're not a third world country, and it's a good thing, right? Because we have people. We live in a really great place that's developing a lot of awesome things. That's doing a lot of great things, but this country is amazing. I'm talking about the United States. It is a great place. And we're blessed to be able to have the things that we have that come with the work, right? We get what we get. It's like we get these things that come with the work, but at the end of our lives, we're gonna, what I've realized is like at the end of our lives, we're gonna realize that we spent our entire, like the majority of our lives doing something that we didn't want to do. And all those things that we accumulated through doing the things that we want to do, through the money, it's not gonna matter. Like we're gonna look back and be like, at the end of your life, you're gonna look back and be like, what did you do in your life? Like what did you do? And if you spend your entire life doing things that you don't want to do for the majority of your life, what did you even do, right? Like what did you really do with it? So the money is a trap, and that's what I've kind of come to realize is like the person that has it right is the person that is just doing what they love to do, and they're doing it all the time. And for the rest of us, it almost makes us look stupid. It's like almost like that's the person that is smart. That's the person that's smart, and it's really the person that realizes that, the person that recognizes that, and just doesn't follow the crowd, because for some reason the majority of us choose to do things that we don't want to do all the time, and I'm guilty of it. So it's like why do we have these masses of people falling into these like office jobs, doing things that they don't want to do for like the rest of their lives? It's like, it sucks. It's depressing, and it's like I'm not the only one. Like there's plenty of people that feel this way about it, and I think I'm trying to figure out what I'm gonna do about it. I'm trying to finagle my way through it and think about it and plan it and make it happen and get to the point where, you know, at the end of the day, you just kind of have to do it, right? You have to quit your job. You have to take these big leaps and steps and these weird things that you have to do to be able to like get to the point where you want to get to and live the life that you want to live. And then you have to face the judgment of society. And I think that's something that we all fear. And that's the reason that we do this, is because we are afraid. We're afraid of like what our parents are going to think of us. We're afraid of like what our friends might think of us, or the people that we know will think of us, like how they will perceive us after we make those decisions. You know, our status is going to go down, and it's like so much of our society is stemmed on status that we would sacrifice our well-being to become, to have more status by making more money and getting more resources. But then we literally spend our entire lives doing something that we didn't want to do. So it doesn't make sense. And it's like this weird thing that we're all on, and we need to get off of it, because I think it's causing, I mean, really, are you really fulfilled with yourself? I mean, you have to ask yourself that at the end of the day. Like, what did you do today? Was it fulfilling? And if the answer is no all the time, you're just not doing it right, and I'm not either. You know, and I'm 24. You know, I have time to stop doing it, right? I have time to just make the decision and do something different. And I'm glad that I'm realizing this and I'm making this video, because it's true. You know, I don't want to look back in my life and say that I spent the majority of it doing stuff that I didn't want to do. It just sounds like slavery. And in a way, it is. You know, in a big way, we are slaves, just in a different form. And the free men are the people that have, you know, the free men are the guys that made it out, man. And those are the people that ended up making a living doing something that they like to do. And now they never have to work, and they just can do whatever they want with their lives all the time. And I envy people like that, to the extent where it's like, man, I need to figure out how to do that. And that's where I'm at. You know, I want to figure out how to do it. So yeah, I mean, I'm in the struggle, you know, and I'll be honest about my problems. This is something I think about a lot. So, yeah, I mean, I think a lot of us think about these things, and it's something to think about. And I hope that more of us can do it. More of us can take the leap and get out of it. You know, because I think I really, 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 really want to get out of it. I just don't know how. You know, and it's like, we have to put an end to it. We have to somehow free ourselves. And that's really what it comes down to, is just freeing yourself. So I've been working in that direction, and I think it all happens, it all stems from your mental state. It all stems from your mental state. And that's why I've been trying to elevate myself to free myself. You know, that's what the whole semen retention thing's been. That's what this whole journey is been about, is just trying to free myself from all the bullshit that society has, like, basically created. The system that we live in is just, we're born into this thing. You know, we're born into the work, you know, go to school, get a job, like the system. You know, it's the process that every person's life goes through. It's like, it's like crazy, you know, that we spend the majority of our time doing things that we don't want to do. That is insanity to me. So I think eventually I will be fed up enough to just quit my job and go do whatever I want. But, you know, I'm young right now, and I think I'm just going to see what happens. Just keep living my life day by day, and, you know, take it week by week, month by month, and, you know, not plan too much, and really just enjoy the moment. So at the end of the day, we still have free time enough to do the things that we want to do every once in a while, but it might not be as much as we want to. So, you know, we live in a great country, but I think there are some pretty big problems. I think we're not as free as we think. You know, home of the brave, or land of the free, home of the brave. You know, land of the free, are you really free? So, yeah, why do we spend the majority of our time doing things that we don't want to do? That would be my question to the society in general. So, mic off.